Gideon asked the question that I believe every Christian and every church needs to ask. Gideon lived in Israel, and Israel was overrun by the Midianites, and the people were starving, and they cried out to God. The angel of the Lord appeared to Gideon. Now, we can't talk about the angel of the Lord right now, but verse 12 of Judges 6 says, "The angel of the Lord appeared to him and said to him, 'The Lord is with you, O valiant warrior.' Then Gideon said to him, 'O my Lord, if the Lord is with us, then why has all this happened to us? And where are all his miracles, which our fathers told us about, saying, Did not the Lord bring us up out of Egypt? But now the Lord has abandoned us and given us into the hand of Midian.' The Lord looked at him and said, 'Go in this your strength, and deliver Israel from the hand of Midian. Have I not sent you?' He said to him, 'O Lord, how shall I deliver Israel? Behold, my family is the least in Manasseh. I am the youngest in my father's house.' But the Lord said to him, 'I will be with you, and you shall defeat Midian as one man.'" So Gideon has questions, but I only want to look at one here. If the Lord is with us, then where are all his miracles which we have been hearing about all our lives? Every Jew his whole life would have heard stories of God's great deliverance from Egypt. But that was a long time ago. So the question is, should we expect God to do miracles in every generation? A lot of Christians today look down on the idea of expecting miracles because they think that people are just looking for the spectacular. And we don't need miracles because we have the Bible, and that they need a boost in their faith, that it is better to have faith without the boost of miracles. Here, the one person in the Bible who asks where all God's miracles are, God sends him on a mission to do that very thing. "Go and deliver your people, and I will be with you." And God is with us too. We just don't know what the job is. In Matthew 12, Jesus was criticized for healing a man on the Sabbath. And Jesus said to them, "What man is there among you who has a sheep, and if it falls into a pit on the Sabbath, will he not take hold of it and lift it out? How much more valuable, then, is a man than a sheep?" To Jesus, healing that man was just like pulling him out of a ditch. It wasn't meant to prove anything. We should stop thinking of miracles, but just think of helping people or fixing things that are broken in the world. Bible teachers often say that there were 4 great periods of God's miracles in the Bible: Moses and Joshua, Elijah and Elisha, Jesus, and then the apostles. They speak as though it is God's idea if and when he will do miracles. Notice here a few things about those times. Moses mentored Joshua. Joshua mentored nobody, and the miracle stopped. Elijah mentored Elisha, and Elisha mentored nobody, and the miracles stopped. Jesus mentored the apostles, and we have no biblical record of the apostles mentoring anybody. Although Paul did mentor Barnabas and Silas, we don't know anything about what happened after them. When Goliath confronted the army of Israel, everybody was too afraid to face him. But after David killed him, it seems that anybody could kill a giant. 2 Samuel 21. Abishai did, then Sibachai the Hushathite, and Elhanan, and even Jonathan, David's nephew. They just had to see somebody do it first. It wasn't a matter of God now being willing, but people taking faith-based risks. It wasn't a question of God wanting to do a miracle, but of somebody who believed that God would do what needed to be done. The book of James refers to the first miracle in the record of Elijah's ministry. And he says that Elijah was just like us. James 5:16. "Therefore, confess your sins to one another and pray for one another so that you may be healed. A righteous man's praying has great effect when he prays." Elijah was a man with a nature like ours, and he prayed earnestly that it would not rain, and it did not rain on the earth for 3 years and 6 months. Then he prayed again, and the sky poured rain. It wasn't that God wanted to do a bunch of miracles at this point in time, but Elijah took the first step. Some will say that we have the Bible. We don't need miracles. Depends why you want them in the first place. If Israel had the Bible then, they still would have needed a miracle to deliver them. Miracles aren't meant to convince anybody of anything, with exceptions, but miracles are just God responding to impossible situations, situations of great need, or of just delivering his people. If my life is just about my life, then we don't need any of this. We can just live our lives and be content. But you don't need to look far to see a world totally in disarray, while our lives may be stable and peaceful. I don't know how many people have asked God this question, but the one person in the Bible who did, God sent him on a mission. It's like all the dots are there, but he leaves us to connect them. So yes, God sent him. The question is, how many others would he send if they but asked the right question and listened and believed for the answer?